Right, guys, Joe Saglimbeni back on a late edition of Let's Chat Live. It's Saturday, October 23rd, 2021. And I want to say hello, guys, back on my live stream. If you're out there, please give me a little nod saying you're hearing me and everything is all right. Maybe a thumbs up. And of course, when this live stream becomes a video, share, like, comment, let that algorithm work for me. And a little bit about me. I'm Joe Saglimbeni. Been investing in the stock market for over 3 decades. I'm a blue collar worker. This is my YouTube channel, but today I wanted to do something a little different. Today I wanted to talk about movies, specifically the film industry, and whether or not it's back. So I think it's a great topic. I think for the last 2 years, it's been a little struggle for the film industry. And I think it's Hollow 1212. Can you hear me? Give me a yes. So I think it's time to talk some movies. So for the last couple of weeks, I've gone out to see some films in the actual movie theater. And I'm noticing that there's a possibility that the movie industry is back. So basically, what I mean by that, are we going to get a movie that can match 2019's Avengers Endgame and basically the box office, worldwide box office back before the pandemic? And I don't know if we're going to get that, but I do think we may get a movie or two that might give Avengers a run. So basically, let's take a look at one of my nice box office websites that I go to called The Numbers. And we're going to look at the 2019 movies worldwide box office. All right. And if you see here, we are talking Avengers Endgame 2.7, almost 2.8 billion dollars in worldwide box office. Domestic box office in America was 858 million. And if you go down this list, you're going to see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 movies over $1 billion in worldwide box office. What I mean by that is basically, and let me get rid of my name here. Basically, that was some year. Avengers Endgame was a great movie to me anyway. And these numbers, even the worst number, Joker, let me see, Joker, Aladdin, right? Domestically, it looks like, let's see, Aladdin did 355 million and Joker did 335 million. And those were the weak ones, Joker and Aladdin in 2019. So the question is, I went, so let me tell you a little bit about me going to the movies. So I went to see Halloween. It's a horror film. Halloween Kills in a small theater, and that theater was pretty packed. But it was a small theater, a small local type movie theater, not one of these big mega movie chain theaters. And it was the first week when Halloween Kills came out. It's October now. People are into Halloween, or they're getting into Halloween. And I was pretty impressed with the crowd. But again, that's a small theater. I also saw the new James Bond film in a bigger theater, a multiplex theater. with my brother and my cousin. And believe it or not, the Bond film did not have that, it wasn't that crowded. And if we kind of let's look at this for a second. Let's go to 2021, right? And let's actually click on, well, actually, right here, let me put it on the screen here. Let me share it with you on the screen here because I want you guys to definitely see it, right? And let's talk about 2021. Before we talked about 2021, actually, let me just try to get the Bond film that I want to see. Stay with me. Let's go to Bond. No Time to Die. Let's open this up. All right. No Time to Die, Bond. Domestic box office is 111 million. International box office 348. Worldwide box office 460 million. So worldwide for James Bond. Now it's only been 2 weeks, but just to show you, back in back in 2019, your Aladdin did 355 million. Yes, that was the full domestic box office. But just take note of the weakness of the 8 and the 9 and the 10. Jumanji, Aladdin, and Joker. 300 million, right? If we go back to Bond, I am hoping that Bond does 300 domestic, but I will say I don't think it is going to. And I've had this argument with my cousin Philip about this film, and no spoilers here, but I don't think it's the best Bond film, and I definitely don't think it's uh, Daniel Craig's best Bond. But I think that what you have in this film is an okay film, a lot of action, an okay film in a still ongoing pandemic, right? Will this Bond film do 300 million? I'm going to say no. And the reason why I'm going to say no is because if we look at the box office numbers for 2021, we'll see that there are two international films that are leading the worldwide box office, but we're going to stick to domestic. Fast and the Furious, the Fast saga, 715 million worldwide, 173 million domestic box office. I think Bond is going to have a hard time even beating Fast and the Furious. Okay, and I thought Fast and Furious was kind of fun. That was a fun, goofy movie, and obviously with 173 million domestic, people must have liked it. 715 million worldwide, and guess what? Not one movie so far in 2021 has done 1 billion worldwide. So I mean, the question is the movie industry going to come back? Is the movie industry back? So I don't think the movie industry is back to 2019 levels. But I will tell you this: I think there's one or two films coming up this year. Well, actually, one is definitely coming up this year. Another one's coming up a little later. But I think a movie that I'm going to name right now or about to name is coming up this year, and I think it's going to match Endgame's domestic numbers. That's kind of crazy, right? I'm going out the limb on the limb here and saying that it will match Avengers Endgame's domestic numbers. Hmm. What movie could that be? Well, before I get into that, let's look at 2020. All right, so let me show the screen again, and we're going to go into 2020 and see what we had in 2020. So, obviously, 2020 was the deepest part of the pandemic. Nobody was going to theaters, theaters were closed. The best film, another international film, but we're going to stick to domestic here. Bad Boys for Life did 204 million and did 424 billion. Now, Bad Boys for Life, I believe, let's see when it came out. Bad Boys for Life came out January 2020. Okay, so that was before the lockdowns in March. Okay, so just consider that worldwide was 424 million. Let me close this out, go back, and they ended up being fourth overall behind the international films and domestic box office. They look like they were number one, with Sonic the Hedgehog being number two. And if we go to Sonic, right, let's see when that came out. That came out February, before the pandemic started. I mean, technically, before the lockdowns. So, all I'm saying about this is that Bad Boys had 204 domestic, and No Time to Die might not even beat that. It is doing the worldwide, but it may not beat Bad Boys for Life. And let's face it, I didn't see Bad Boys for Life, but I'm thinking that No Time to Die was probably better than Bad Boys for Life. And really, what it ends up coming out, what I'm trying to say here is that we're getting there. This is a better year than 2020. But will it, or is there a movie that is going to top Avengers Endgame from 2019, at least domestically? And I think that the movie that will top this or Endgame, or give it a run for money and bring back. Thanks, Slick Force. I guess Bad Boys for Life is junk. Yeah. Well, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope to see you at Christmas. I don't know, but anyway, Bad Boys for Life is junk, I guess. But let's just want to show that up. Bad Boys for Life is junk. Let's show that a little bit. Bad Boys for Life is junk. Um. Okay, so making me laugh. I think that the movie that is going to top 2021 definitely is going to be, and I'm clicking on it right now, Spider-Man No Way Home. Yes, sir. This will be the movie that is going to top the 2021 box office. And I think that this is the movie that is going to bring back movies, the big box office movies. I say this movie can compete and will compete with Avengers Endgame. I know it's kind of crazy. I know it's kind of crazy. But if the rumors are true, and it has Tobey Maguire in it and Garfield, and it has, of course, it has Doc Ock in it. We know that from the trailer. We think the Gremlin, I mean the Green Goblin, is in here. William Defoe, because of the gadget on the street that looked like the Goblin's kind of bomb. And there's a lot of rumors that Sandman's there, Electro is there, and obviously Doctor Strange is going to be a lot of villains and superheroes in this film. Yeah, it's not Avengers Endgame, but I can argue, and I will argue this, that Spider Man started, well, it's between Spider Man and Batman, which started the comic book true blockbuster. Some people can say Superman from Christopher Reeves, but no. Spider Man, don't no doubt, when it originally came out with Tobey Maguire, was well loved, well received, and was a sure box office hit. Huge, big, unbelievable. And I think the fact that you have Toby in this, if you have Toby in this, and if you have Garfield in this, and you have a good story produced by, Marvel and Sony kind of together, I think this is the movie that brings everybody back to the cinema. I just think it is. And it's going to be Spider Man No Way Home. And I think it's going to do huge numbers. And let's see, let's go back to 2019. It's got to do 858 million domestic. Now, let me tell you something here. That would be very tough to do, but I think it's going to do it. It's crazy. I think it's going to do it. I think this is the movie that's going to bring people back to the movies. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. So, is the movie industry back? No, not yet. The movie that's going to bring them back is Spider Man. And then next year, you're looking at some good films. And I think Matrix is this year. Batman's next year. You're looking at a lot of good films. But I think Spider Man. And I think Spider Man's going to bring it home. It's going to be the top film of 2020 easily. I'm putting my money on that one. And hopefully we can get out there, get this pandemic controlled, and movies could be fun again. Now, that being said, do I think that you're going to have a global box office numbers that equal Endgame? No, I don't think so. Spider-Man is not going to be as international as Endgame was. Spider-Man and Batman really aren't that international. For some reason, they don't get the numbers like Avengers or Lord of the Rings or Matrix, or for some reason Spider Man and Batman seem to be an American thing a lot. And I don't think that the Spider Man is going to get that. Actually, I don't think you're going to see 2 billion in 2022. I do not think you're going to see 2 billion in 2022. And it's going to be a good year, but I think the end game type box office numbers is probably still a year and a half away, probably 2023, when we really have control of the pandemic, when people really want to go out to a movie theater. Don't forget, some theaters, some small chains have closed. Some people are still getting sick. And I think a lot of people are scared to go out. But for Spider Man, let's see if it can match Endgame. Hey, it only took, what, 2 years, 2.5 years, if they do it to match Endgame domestically. All right, guys. So I know it's been, I haven't had a couple of live streams, haven't been coming on lately, but again, very busy in my work life, in my real work life, and YouTube. Sometimes I don't have time to do a live stream or a video, but hopefully we will continue, and I hope to see you next Saturday. Maybe because it's Halloween weekend, and there may be a lot, maybe a lot of kids trick or treating. and I might have to dress up like Uncle Fester. I don't think I look like him, but people say I do. But anyway, I want to thank everyone out there. Please give a like, share, comment. Let that algorithm work for me when this becomes a video. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And I will see you next Saturday, maybe. Goodbye.